Hey everybody, it's Tuesday, it's 3 o'clock, so it's Tech Tuesday. Welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about cable modems in partial mode and how you can use our PreEqualization analyzer tool to find those. I'll be right back. Thanks for joining me. I'm Rick Uzzi at Zcorum and Tech Tuesday. I appreciate you joining me today and every Tuesday when you can. So today I'm going to be talking about partial modems. It's not a modem that you break in half or anything like that. This is a cable modem that's in partial mode. Last week when I was talking about some broadband news things, I was showing a blog post from Cable Labs, and they were talking about how P&M can be used these days, as we're trying to make sure that we've got enough bandwidth for everybody, especially with more people at home than usual. To do some things in your plant that can help increase bandwidth utilization, and there's a lot of things that you can do with proactive network maintenance and making sure that you don't have upstream impairments, that those are not causing you issues. And one of the things that can cause is a partial modem, or a modem that's in partial mode where it's not bonding properly all of the channels. So maybe it's supposed to be an 8-channel bonding group and there's only 7 or 6 or 1 or something like that. So you can have various levels of partial mode going on there, and that's not a good thing because obviously the subscriber's not getting the service that they should be getting if you're supposed to be providing them a certain speed or throughput. Sometimes they don't notice if it's not up at the max capacity. It may be that the good thing about that in a partial modem is that it's not going to completely take the modem offline. So if there's a problem on one of the channels, then just that channel won't be connected, and then the customer still may be getting good service, but again, maybe not quite as fast as they're supposed to be going. And also, obviously, you want to be able to make the most use out of this bandwidth, so you don't want partial modems out there. Something else I heard a little while ago on Brady Bolt's podcast, he had John Downey on there like he does a lot of times, and they were talking about different things that you can do to increase capacity, and they brought up the fact of partial modems, and I think it was John Downey that was saying that if you've got a modem in partial mode, then they were talking about load balancing, and if that modem is in partial mode, then they can't really load balance automatically because you're going to be load balancing between channel groups of the same size. So you might have an 8-channel bonding group, and you might move that modem doing load balancing to another 8-channel bonding group, but if that modem is in partial mode, then they can't do that. So that's another reason to look at partial modems. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. We're going to be showing that. I'll pull that up right now. I think. Hold on. There we go. So what we're looking at here is PreEqualization analyzer. We're looking at the dashboard, and since I don't have a trial version of this or an instance where I can hide the customer information, I'm looking at all screenshots today. So that's the reason that we are looking at screenshots. But this is the main dashboard that you'd be familiar with if you are a customer of ours using this. If not, if you're just looking into P&M, that's what this is. We're looking at the main dashboard in the PreEqualization analyzer application. And what we would do is click up here to pull up the detail view, which is going to pull up a map for the CMTS, one of the CMTSs that you're looking at. In this particular case, there's just one. And we pull up the map. Again, since this is not a trial database, this is a real system with real maps and customer information. I have the map blurred out except for the little area that I'm going to be looking at here. So that's why this is all fuzzy. Normally you'd see everything nice and clear. So these are the modems as we pull up that detail view. And then up here on the map we've got filter information. So you can filter this map, what appears on here, by looking at just red modems, which is helpful when you're trying to zero in on just the modems that you need to address first. And then you've got those would be kind of your alert modems, and you've got your warning modems in a orangish, yellowish color, really yellow on the map. Then you've got your green modems, and then these are modems that are not being tracked right now by the system. I think could be offline or not connected. Then you've got partial modems right here, and then you've got full band capture modems right here if you want to filter on those. But right today what we're talking about is filtering on these partial modems. So as soon as I click that, that's going to immediately take all of the modems off of the map except those that are in a partial mode. And you can see here I've just got a couple left. I've got one that's green and I've got one that's red. And you see that the colors a little sad looking, and that's because it's a little gradient there showing you that it's in a partial mode. And if you look down, I think if I come down, I actually covered up with that. But if you look down below here, you'll see the legend on what all of these things mean. And then right below, hold on, we'll wait for that to go away. Right below there, where my red dot is, you'll see you've got your selected modem, which we haven't selected one yet, and any modems that are in a correlation group, and then partial cable modems, you've got that gradient look, and that's what we've got here. We've got one that's a green modem that's in partial mode, we have one that's a red modem that's in partial mode, and then you see this exclamation point right here, and back down to the legend here, that's an intermittent cable modem, which we'll be discussing here in just a second. So I'm going to actually start with that one, if I recall, through my screenshot. So if I double-click that red modem, then I open up a separate window. In the latest version, we open up a separate window rather than just a box within the window. And you see here already it tells you that this particular modem is in an intermittent mode. So you've got a couple of different ways that you can see that. The exclamation point on the map, and then you've got this right here telling you when you click in there. Again, I've got all the customer information blurred out here, but you would have that information about this subscriber right there. You have information about the modem. And then down here we can see what's going on with this modem. So we do see that, number one, we've got one channel that's in a red or warning state, and then we've got the two channels here that it should be bonded on that it's not. And it could be that in this case this modem lost connection with those channels, and then once that's done, I believe it sends a message to the CMTS that says, hey, I'm not connected, and then the CMTS just basically, I think it stops trying. I don't think this modem, maybe it does try to reconnect every now and then, because we'll see that this does change over time. But in this case, something's going on where this modem is unable to maintain this connection. It could have been connected at some point, and then it lost that connection. It could be that these channels were offline when this modem tried to connect, but in any event, it's in a partial mode now. And we can see information up here about the modem as well. I can scroll down and look at nearby modems, and this is good to do because you might want to figure or try to determine, is this modem just sitting by itself in partial mode, or are there other modems around it that are in partial mode, and maybe they're being impacted by a common impairment. So you can look at the nearby modems. I can click up here to zoom in on that, and then I see my modems here, and this right here is my partial one that I'm looking at right here, and I see lots of stacked modems, 333, 2, 32, and these yellow ones. So this is, I believe, going to be, I don't have the satellite here pulled up, but I believe this is going to be a MDU of some kind. Could be apartment complexes or something that are here that we've got multiple devices within an address. So that's usually what that means when you've got multiple modems. And you can click on that and get details on the individual ones normally. So there's my modem. I can click on the historical information up here to see what's been going on over time. And this is interesting because as I look at this, this is all of the history overlaid on top of the same charts here. So I've got my in-channel frequency response right here, and I can see that it does not look good much of the time, but it's interesting because as I look at the history, I can see that there are times when this modem has been looking pretty good. So I got some things here where it's all in the green, but then I've got other times when it's way, way out of spec. So then I can see the same thing here on my taps. It's a little harder to see because the colors, it makes it a little harder to see the history of it, but I can see right now, I do have several of these taps that are over the red threshold line. So right here, very good indication of a in-home problem with tap 9 being so high over the threshold here, and you've got tap 10 over, and then we've got some further taps out. And when you're looking at P&M, you really got to address these in-home problems first, because especially like if you're trying to figure out where the problem is, and you've got a clear indication of an in-home problem, that's going to be masking other stuff. It could be that there's a problem way out here somewhere in the plant, but we won't see it because it's being masked by lots of in-home issues right here. So this is something that you want to be looking close to the home, at the drop, something like that. And then this is my history down here as well in the table. So I can see, you've got your colors here showing you the 3 channels, and I can see here in these last few pollings that I do have red on one channel and then the other 2 channels off. And then down at the bottom, again, if I scroll down, I'm going to cover it up, but you can see the 1, and then you see the 2 and the 3. So you can click those. I think I didn't try it, but you can also click these arrows over here, or you can click the play button. And as you click the play button, these charts will move over time and show you what's going on. So you'll see over time these charts. But if you want to look at the table, you can click the numbers down at the bottom. There I click the 2. And you can see it's pretty much in the same state there. I clicked 3, and now it's starting to look a little different. So we're starting to see, I think, what we were showing up here on this ICFR. We've got in this group of 3 pollings, well, we've got a green right here, which we didn't have before, and then we've got 2 channels. All 3 channels are up here. 2 are in a alert stage as yellow, and then 1's green. And then as I go to the next, oops, can't see, I think I'm on, hold on. Yeah, there's 4. So same kind of thing. It went back to 2 channels offline and 1 red, and then now I'm 1 channel yellow and 2 green online. And then back to this. So you can see this modem is kind of up and down. So it's good to be able to go through the history and see what's been going on with this device. Again, you can click here. I demonstrated this in a Tech Tuesday several weeks ago when we were talking about the new features in this particular version, 4.50.14, that everybody should be on right now. And one of the things is that you can scroll through this, and then what you're scrolling through is you're actually just going to see the 1 plot at that particular polling period for all 3 channels. And you can go in and actually look at individual channels as well on those. So when you do that, then you'll see just the 1 plot over time. You'll see the 1 digital tap response at that time, and it will play over time if you click the play button. So you can actually watch those charts change as you do that. So that's a nice feature. So I mentioned that if we scroll back up, I mentioned that this was a intermittent modem, and you can go ahead and click that here. Right there, click that link to get to that. There's other places that you can get to that as well. And I did a video with Brady Volpe a while back ago. That's when we were all back in the office still. And Brady and I went over the intermittent modem feature in PreEqualization Analyzer. So if you click below, somewhere right about there, I don't know, click below, there's a pinned comment that I just put up there with a link to that video about intermittent modems. That'll give you all the information that you want to know about intermittent modems from an expert like Brady Volpe, which is great. So if you can watch that, get a chance to watch that. But just a real quick explanation, what we're looking at here, this is the intermittent modem chart. And what this does is it compares the cable modem transmit power, and it plots that in time along with your main tap response, which is basically those digital taps we were just looking at. As those change, that means that something's impacting that modem. And what this is, it's a real pretty good indication that there's noise, there's ingress getting into the cable plant that's impacting this modem. Because this modem, when it changes its transmit power at the same time that those digital taps are changing, that right there is telling you that some noise is getting in. So you know to go look for something like a loose connector or something like that that could be letting in noise. And you can see that here, that things are pretty flat. It's interesting that we have this 1 channel that dropped down here with this other one. But if it sees over a particular period of time, a couple of polls, that there's been a change and these 2 things correlate in this way where they're changing at the same time, then it will plot these green lines and show you, yes, we have intermittent modem on all 3 channels right here. So it's just this one time. I didn't see the ability to go back and look at any history, and obviously I can't go forward here because I'm looking at right now, which may mean that this modem was fine back in the past as far as not being intermittent. We could see that it did have some issues, but it wasn't intermittent, or at least it didn't show up on the intermittent modem report because of a certain polling time and change. It showed up right here. So that's just something to be aware of. And then, so that's my red modem, and again, I've got the exclamation point here indicating that it was intermittent right now at the time that I was looking at it. And I can click my green modem too, double click that, and that's going to pull up the same chart. And this one we see, this has got 2 channels connected and 1 that's not. And in this case, this modem looks pretty good on those 2 channels. I was going to say here, if you click add a column, I mentioned this also when we were talking about new features a little while ago, you can now click and add a column rather than just hiding RF values and showing RF values, you can decide what you want to see. So if you click Add a Column, and then you can look at what you want to look at. Maybe you were trying to figure out why this modem is in partial mode. You can start looking at upstream power, MER, code word errors, upstream receive power. You could also click to see if it's in a correlation group, or although this one didn't appear to be, but I went ahead and clicked those first ones there, and you can see that it added them to the table. And then you just click Save, and now I can see my upstream transmit power, upstream MER, my code word errors, and you do see that you've got correctable and uncorrectable code word errors on these two channels right here, my receive power. Then you've got your other things, your main tap compression, this is your P&M data, your micro reflection levels on here. And again, this modem, from the perspective of P&M, does not look bad. It's a green modem. So P&M is not seeing it as a bad issue. But we do have something that's causing this modem to be in a partial mode. You can scroll down to see the nearby modems here. And where's my device? Here it is right here, the green one. And then you can click the history information like I just did. So right here, you just click open that to get your history, and that's going to open up, whoops, forward. That's going to open up these charts again. And you can see this one is a green modem. And as I look at this over time, you see all of these plots. Again, this is not multiple modems like you would see in a correlation group on top of each other. This is this one modem over time and all of the plots that you're seeing there. And you can see one thing that's pretty consistent is you've got lots of lines right here, and you've got just one line that's on this 33.8 frequency, because that's the one that's not connected at the moment. It was at one point. And then, again, more lines over here. So it's looking green. So this modem is in good shape on the two channels that it's connected to. And again, same thing here on your digital taps. It's in good shape. This is your threshold line. And we don't have any taps that are over the threshold, even in by the home. So it's in partial mode. We don't know why. Again, it may have had an issue in the past and just not connected back up to that. It's in good shape now. And again, I can look back at the history. If I click the 2 down there, everything looks very consistent over time. I didn't go any further back. I probably should have, because now that I'm looking at it, it was connected to this channel at one point, but it's not now. So there you go. That's what partial modems look like in PreEqualization Analyzer. Obviously, you'd want to go out on this modem and try to figure out what's going on there. It could be something that is an issue that's not causing any of the PreEqualization or the PreEQ values to have to change a lot, but there could be something else out there that needs to be corrected. It could just be, again, that it had a problem in the past and disconnected from that channel, and now it's just not connected, so maybe just bouncing the modem would fix that. When you see one like the one we were looking at earlier, you need to go out and fix those problems. So go check the drop, ground block, and look for issues there. That one, again, looks like it's in home probably. You can't tell if there's anything outside, so better to go address that one and see what's going on. And again, what this will do is it'll get your modems performing the way they should be on all the channels. It'll make sure that your customer is getting all of the bandwidth that they're supposed to be getting. If this modem is in a group that you're going to do load balancing on, it can't do that in a partial mode, so it's good to take care of these things. At some point, I'm going to show the partial modem feature in TrueVision. It will show you, it's another way that you can look at it if you happen to be a TrueVision customer also, where you can pull the CMTS screen up, you can look at the status data, the table with the status, and then you can see your partial modems there. You can drill in on that, and then you can see them in a report, and then you can click and plot those on a map, and then you can drill in on each individual modem as well. It's just a little different way of looking at things. And then from there, you can drill in and see the historical information. So I'll cover that on a future Tech Tuesday. It's not going to be for a few weeks because Tech Tuesday is taking a hiatus for the summer, or at least for the part of July. So we won't be here next week or the week after, and I'll be back on the Tuesday after that. So thanks for joining me. If this was helpful, go ahead and hope that you would give us a thumbs up on the video if you like this. We've got other videos up there if you are a PreEqualization Analyzer customer. We've got other Tech Tuesday videos about PreEqualization Analyzer. In fact, if you go to PreEqualizationAnalyzer.com Let me show you real quick. I'll pull that up. Now I got to spell it. I hate that. PreEqualization. You can also go to zquorum.com and click on PreEqualization Analyzer. That might be easier. I think I got it there. No, I don't think I did. Oh, I did. I did spell it right. Okay. All right. So if you go to PreEqualization Analyzer and come down here, I think it's under Resources. Yeah, if you look under Resources here, you'll see Tech Tuesday Series. Click that, and that will take you to our YouTube channel. And all of the videos that I've done, me and other folks on PreEqualization Analyzer are listed here. I think all of them. I'll go make sure that they're all up there. And I will be adding this one as well to that. So again, if you're a PreEqualization Analyzer customer, you can go back in and look at some of these videos that we've done. So again, thanks for joining me. I'll be back not in 1 week, not in 2 weeks, but in 3 weeks for Tech Tuesday. And I will see you then. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.